Welcome to an episode of Your Money Questions Answered, the Washington Financial Group podcast. I'm your host, Elena Peerson, financial wellness strategist. If you've been tuning into our episodes for the past few weeks, you have been delighted with stories of Tom Leveroni, one of our advisors and vice president, teaching his children, who seem to have a rotating cast of various names on every episode, teaching them about finances, things like what's a 401k, what's a stock, what's a bond, teaching them general rules of thumb for savings, mutual funds. He has done a fantastic job of engaging with his children and making the most of this time of social distancing, and really making sure that they are engaged, teaching them a little bit about money. It seems that for those of us with children, we might feel like we're running out of ideas on ways to engage our children and teach them new things. Now it is the weekend after Memorial Day, so for those of you with kids, they might have been on track to graduate and have a graduation ceremony this month. You might be preparing them, or you might have been usually preparing them to go away to some sort of summer activity, a camp or trip. And chances are those plans probably have been put on hold. And again, you're still looking for ways to engage with each other and make the most out of your time together. So obviously, money is our thing. Your Money Questions Answered. We wanted to come up with a few different ways that you can teach some of your kids things about finance. So this past week, we hosted a webinar called Kids and Money to share some of our ideas on ways you can engage with your kids. And we covered the spectrum of ages 3 to 21 with different activities that you can assign to help them grow in their financial knowledge. If you need any help with activities or resources for teaching your kids, this is an area that's often underemphasized in school anyways. And so it's a great time to teach some of these things to your kids. After all, an estimated 68% of people say that their parents are actually their biggest influence on their relationship with money. And I think we can see that in our relationships, in our parenting styles. If you're co-parenting, then you may see that, you and your significant other might have different values when it comes to teaching your kids about money. And that's really because our interactions with money are mostly influenced by the way that our parents work with money. So here are a few things that you can impart on your children to make sure that they can put their best foot forward. The first thing that you can do is teach your kids the difference between needs and wants. So which is the necessity? The food on the table or that new video game? This can be a really good exercise for young children, and it's a good reminder for your older ones. Prioritizing needs and wants is very important, especially now, and you can begin to include some of your older kids in age-appropriate financial decisions that involve them by just teaching them, okay, this is what you might want, this is what we're focused on, which one do you think is better? The second thing that you can do is don't think that just because you have made mistakes in your financial journey, you can't be a good financial example to your kids. We're all human, and mistakes can be our best learning experiences. We learn from our parents' mistakes, right? And it's okay to share with your kids things that you have done wrong and what they can do differently. You can say, this is what, I have some difficulty with. This is what I'm trying to do better. It really helps solidify that bond, I think. And it really helps teach your children things that you want to improve on and pass on to them in a positive manner. The third thing you can do is teach your kids about price comparison. So whether or not you're taking your kids along to the grocery store right now, or whether you're shopping online, now is a great time to teach your kids to compare the price of things like cereal, clothing, and other common items, and some of your rules of thumb for buying. One of my favorite things to teach is price per unit. So, for example, when you go to the store, you can see the price of an item on a shelf, and then it breaks it down for you in price per ounce or price per liter or whatever. Apparently I'm in Europe. But it will basically show you what the actual value of something is, so you can compare two different items of different size. And I find that to be really helpful, and that's a great thing to teach your kids. And finally, teaching your kids how to budget cash flow and save for emergencies. So whether or not you give your child an allowance is something that is always debated in a household. If you are, you're likely already teaching them cash flow and budgeting at a certain level. If you aren't, you might want to consider maybe, a couple dollars a week, something very small, but just get them in the swing of saving a portion of money they receive for a rainy day or for a long-term goal. You can also do this with things like birthday money or holiday money. Teach them that in an unpredictable world, saving a little bit and tucking some away can make a huge difference for when you really need it. If you do have any questions, again, we are always a resource for you all and for your kids. You can reach out to us at info@washfinancial.com, and we are happy to share with you our webinar and some of our activities for you to pass along to them. As always, we hope that you are well and staying healthy. Remember that you can be a great teacher for your kids while reinforcing your own positive money habits along the way. No matter where you are in your financial journey, you got this.
That's going to do it for this week's show. Thanks for listening. If you have a question that you'd like us to address in a future episode, shoot us an email at info@washfinancial.com. If you enjoy our show, we'd love for you to subscribe on iTunes or wherever you access your podcasts. The opinions voiced in this program are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, financial or tax advisor prior to investing. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA and SIPC. Investment advice offered through Global Retirement Partners LLC, a registered investment advisor. Global Retirement Partners, Washington Financial Group, a division of Hub International Mid-Atlantic, and Hub International are not affiliated with LPL Financial.